This evening session, I'm going to answer a couple of questions that came out to me through Messenger. Hopefully you're following along and working along with us on this little TV series that we're doing. It is actually the road to black belt. If you're following along on these, they're going to take you through all of the forms from the beginning level right through the advanced level. How well they become is how much practice and how much work you'll put into them. If you think it's just good enough, it won't be. People say that practice makes perfect. I like to say that perfect practice makes perfect. Practice makes permanent. So if you practice something sloppily, that's how you'll perform. Sloppily. If you practice with kime, the proper attitude and power behind your technique, you'll find your skill level continually growing. Now this evening, I had a gentleman message me and ask me about the kihon number 9 on our bow series, our bow kihons. Now for kihon number 9, if we're in Miki Kamai, our right Kamai, remember we're not holding the bow square in the hand, we're holding up the valley, little finger, third finger, second finger locks down, index finger floats. We're not putting it straight out, we're floating. Okay, the bow is held in thirds. So for number 9, we're in Kamai. The tip of the bow is the height of the eye over as far as the shoulder. So my line of vision is through here, not over the tip, like I'm aiming a gun. It's here. I'm here. So I'm going to rotate my lead hand over and step forward, blocking or kamai. Center thrust. I step back and I block a sliding thrust that's coming down toward the leg, hook it and throw it to the ground. Stepping in, thrusting, center, come back to our kamai. The elbow stays in. So at no time we'll have that elbow out there floating like that. So number 9, steps up, thrust, steps back, blocks, throws, thrust, back to your kamai. Now number 10. Number 10 will step up again, gekimuchi, reverse grip. From here, Jodan Nkkf, high spear. Come back, Nkkf, middle block, sweep, drop down into the strike. The hand is on top when we're coming down. Back to kamai. Number 10. So I hope those two will help you understand number 9 and number 10 with the bow. These are the two of our kihons in which the hand is reversed. Now number 10 is simply reversed because we're stepping up with that hand. And you'll run into the techniques from 9 and 10 later on in the bow series as we continue to advance on the bow. For now, make sure that you practice. Practice your kihons. Don't just drop and do the kata. The kihons is what will make the kata look good. Be correct. Have snap. Remember to use power from the hip. When you're coming down and doing your strike, the hand is in the direction of the strike. So if I'm coming down, the hand's on top. If I'm coming across, the hand's on the side. If I'm doing reverse, the hand's on the opposite side. There's a lot to the bow other than just it being a stick. Oos, oos. So, in our continuing series we've been doing for our TV, we have started our story with Shinto, the shipwrecked sailor. His technique, what he had taught Matsumura Soken, what Soken had passed on, or excuse me, what Matsumura had passed on to Itosu, and what Itosu had passed on with the Pinan Kata. Now, last week, we went over the first 3 Pinans. Pinan Shodan, Pinan Nidan, Pinan Sandan. This evening I'm going to go over Pinan Yondan. Pinan Yondan we use for intermediate advanced level. Peaceful Mind, number 4. Right? Right? Now in Pinan Yondan, we're going to begin with a double block, a shuto and a load for a shuto. Cross block low, kidan. Double reinforced block. The little knuckle will be at the elbow. Does not have to be pushed in. From there, we pull forward, toes together, feet together. Now when we pivot and strike, we're turning on our toe, our ball of foot, and heel. We throw the kick, Zenkuchi out front stance elbow. Load, turn, throw the kick, elbow. Coming out, catching an arm, front kick, back fist, PI. Pivoting, front kick, reverse lunge punch, reverse punch. Shoot on again. Front kick, lunge punch, reverse punch, pull back to Nkkf cat stance. Double reinforced block. Double reinforced block. Double reinforced block. Ki, step across as you pivot, 45. Step down. Kihon, heel, load. Toe, block. Down, back. Pinan Yondan. Us. So in Pinan Yondan, it's our 4th kata in the Pinan series of 5. We're going to send it over to you, Kiyoshi Colton, to demonstrate a little Pinan Yondan.
It's a very great kata to practice dynamics within your technique and within your kata. Being a peaceful mind kata, the thing to focus on is not elongating the time that it takes to complete this kata. The most important thing to focus on is the fact that each of these movements is peaceful. You don't want to hurt the opponent, and you're giving them a chance to stop fighting in a peaceful resolution. So when we're doing the kata, you'll see many movements where you're done fighting, and then the opponent will continue, and you'll do an explosive technique, and then you'll be done. And then they'll continue, and then you'll finish. So one of the things in this kata towards the end is very, very cool. It's very important for realizing what these katas mean and why they were invented. It's the hard and the soft aspect of the karate. Not every single karate kata is pow, 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 full out and exhausting. That's not the design. The design is like in kumite, giving your opponent a chance to retreat as you advance. And then as they attack, block, finish, turn towards the end, giving them a chance to stop. Giving them a chance to stop and then finishing in peace. So the Pinan katas, Heian katas, or peaceful mind katas are very unique in the fact that they offer us a very exciting dynamic. We have the slow the slow, dramatic aspect of the kata, which has a tension right before the explosiveness of the techniques. So the Pinan katas are amazing for you to practice this dynamicy in your karate, making it that much better. Let's go through the Pinan katas together. Okay, I'll do one time at half speed. So we're going to do the kata with the correct tempo, and then we'll do it from the rear at the correct tempo, and then I'll do it from the side with correct performance. Pinan Yondan. Okay, and one time from the rear. Okay, now let's do the kata one time quickly. Pinan Yondan. Peaceful mind number 4. So one of the great things, again, Pinan Yondan is a very explosive kata. Practice the dynamics of your technique, making sure to take the moments to let the opponent stop. And then, as the technique comes in, explosive, and finish in peace. Until next.
Now, one of the other questions that was presented to me was about competition. Now, myself and my students have been very successful in competition over the years. Many national champions. In fact, any student that I train or that works with me, I expect to train at the highest possible standards. In order to do this, they have to fall back on my analogy of the 3 A's. What I use in my teaching and what I use in my everyday life. The 3 A's. Attitude, application, and ability. Everyone has the ability to do what we do. When you're taught the proper application and you combine that with the proper attitude, it's a successful mix. Now, a couple things on form. When you're being judged by someone, there's an old saying that goes, first impressions mean everything. So number one, if you're teaching your students, or if you're a student interested in competition, it does not start when you walk into the ring. It starts way back in the dojo and how you practice. If I'm practicing for competition and I'm just going to walk up, I'm just practicing on my own, okay, and I'll start my kata, then I could run into bumps on entering the ring, on my presentations. If you're going to do competition, do it from the second you're on the sideline. Make sure you've already warmed up really well. And I've had students say to me, hey, I'm only going to compete for 2 minutes. Well, those 2 minutes will determine what you walk out of that ring with. Whether you're going to walk out of that ring successful, with a great attitude, or you're going to walk out of that ring disappointed. Now, so often I hear, I was cheated. That's why I didn't win. If you feel that way, then train twice as hard. If you feel that you had an unfair advantage, train more. Do better technique. Do stronger technique. More power. Make your form more serious. When you do a stance, yeah, it's easy to do a cat stance. Here, I'm doing a cat stance. Yeah, there's hardly no weight on my front foot, but there's a difference between doing a cat stance and doing a cat stance. Difference between leaning forward on your cat stance or with your back straight and your knees bent. Knee directly over the ball of the foot. Heels in a line. The same thing with your horse stance or your front stance. Monitor yourself. Instructors, straighten your students out on this. If you have a student that's doing a partial load on a punch, correct it every time you see it. They're loading it here, but you want them to load it here. You don't have to bring attention to them in the class. Just walk up with your hand and push it back. I promise you, within 2 or 3 classes, if they have not already started placing it back here, they see you walking and they're going to move it back there. So you've already began that learning process. Attitude, application, ability. You've got the ability to do it. Let's do it together. For this evening's session, it's been a pleasure to have you here with us. Oyasuminasai.